Hello, everyone. Happy Hump Day. This is College Coaching Network with you again for an awesome segment of Social Spotlight Live. We are so excited because with us today we have two amazing gentlemen from Western Illinois University. They have agreed to take the 10-10 challenge, where of course Cod is going to ask them 10 questions all about their very first job, and can't wait to hear what it was because they are in a higher education field. So wonder if they were thinking about that when they took their first job. We're gonna see.
Yes, and then we just got a text on the private side too that Jill is out there, so we want to make sure we love one more person that's coming to the party. Yeah, she made it. Last but definitely not least. So how you doing, young lady?
Fine, thank you. Sorry, I was in your waiting room.
Yeah, well, we want to get you out of the waiting room.
Yes.
That's for sure. So the 10-10 challenge, just to give you guys an idea, because this is your first time ever being out here with College Coaching Network, we basically want to help capture the story from where you started to where you are. We all know that these kids look at Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all this stuff, and they see this ostentatious lifestyle people have, and they think that you just start out there. And we all know that life did not allow us to start out where we are right now. There was a journey in order for us to get to where we are now. And so I want us to be able to go back today, just for a little while, back down memory lane and reflect on how far you've came. And we can really smile and just thank the big man upstairs that his grace has allowed us to make it this far. So I want you guys to just share from your heart the funny parts and the not so funny parts. Looking back, I'm sure it probably will be a lot funnier now as opposed to when you were going through it. So let's jump in. And I want you, I'm going to ask a question. There's 10 questions. You got 10 seconds for each question. I'm going to ask the question starting out ladies first, but I may kind of go back and forth and bounce out because I want to hear all of you guys chiming in on these questions. All right. So if you're not the first person, you have the privilege of listening to the other person's answer as you think about what you're going to say. But guess what? The next question may be you next first, right? So just get ready for it. So you ready for the 10-10 challenge?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go with it. All right. So the first question, I'm going to give it over to Jill. What was your title or position at your first company?
I was a paralegal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
First job?
Oh, and no, my first job would be basically serving ice cream.
Well, that's what we're trying to capture. Yes.
Very first job.
Yes, I love it. So you were serving ice cream. Okay. And where were you working at?
I was working at a Freeze and Frizz, which is sort of like, a Dunkin' Donuts or a place like that where you just make the ice creams for whatever people want.
Yes. Was that the soft ice cream that they had too, or was that just a regular?
Yeah, it was the soft, and we had to make sure we didn't put the center of the cone filled. You had to like sprint it around so they could have, you could be cheaper on their.
I love it. Hey, real quick, the soft ice cream, I want to get one of those things. I don't know if you've ever seen those, Mika, where they have those big tubs and you put the ice in there and you kind of go around. Was that kind of how you guys did it?
No, it was a big machine, and you just had to swirl it around on the machine after you pulled the thing down. Almost like a Coca-Cola machine.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Well, Michael, you're next up. What's your from your first job? What was your title or position?
I guess would be lawn boy.
Wow, I love it. So what?
I basically just started my my own little lawn business. Just had an extra lawnmower and would just started cutting lawns around the neighborhood for money and saved it up for whatever I wanted to go buy. My parents were like, you need to earn a living and not earn a living, but you need to learn how to do that. Yeah. And so I started early, and that was my first job. Yeah. So did that.
Okay, so. Entrepreneur.
Right. I'm like, he was like creating his own check. I love it. and I got to ask you a quick side question. Is your family entrepreneurial? Or is that the reason where you got it from? Or how did you even know not to just go get a regular job, but to create a job?
I wouldn't say that my whole family is entrepreneurial. No, they've all had steady jobs. I just I started cutting grass and doing chores at an early age, and I just really liked getting out there and doing things outside and like seeing the finished product, right? And so taking pride in that. And my dad was just suggested it. He's like, why don't you cut grass in the summer, and just went ahead and did it.
I love it. All right, coming over to you, Joe. First job, title, or position.
I was a newspaper deliverer carrier.
Yes. I did that too. So what caused you to apply for that job? Because you got to wake up super early to do that job.
You do. I just wanted a little cash in my pocket. I was pretty involved in Boy Scouting, and my family didn't have a lot of resources, so I needed a way to make some money so I could go camping and have fun.
Yeah, I love it. Did you ever hit anybody's pet when you threw those papers out that truck?
No, but I broke a window. I accidentally broke a window trying to throw the paper on the porch. So, had a paper.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about what I did. All right, so next one, we're going to come back over to Michael on this one. What was your hourly pay, or how much money do you equate? You're an entrepreneur, so you had a whole other different thing going on. But what was hourly pay for you?
Well, it all depended on the size of the yard and, looking at the cost of fuel and everything. So most yards in my neighborhood were anywhere from about $20 to $40 per cut. And that's, no one seemed to complain about that. And everyone seemed to be okay with the way I did it. So.
And you could do a whole yard in an hour?
I could, yeah, I really could, because I had a decent mower, and back then I was in really good shape.
All right, Jill, let's jump over to you. Same question.
Probably less than $1, because we could eat the ice cream and have whatever else they wanted, and so they included that in your pay.
So those are the perks of the program.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. How much did paper throwing pay?
I made about $35 every 2 weeks. So if you broke that down to an hourly wage, it was probably about 50 cents. It wasn't much.
You may be the next winner of the lowest pay award.
I
my God.
Day, though, so it wasn't too bad.
You didn't have any bills, so I mean, it kind of worked itself out. I guess
that is true. Yeah, my parents still fed me, so it worked out. But
wow. Okay, all right. So going over to you, Joe. Since you got the lowest pay, almost got the lowest pay award.
All right.
He still does.
Good to know.
Maybe we need to get some negotiations started.
Yeah, we're gonna talk offline on this one. That's
Right.
cool. All right. What did you do with your first amazing big check?
My first check, you said?
Yep.
Wow. I saved up. I took multiple checks, but I bought myself a bicycle. I actually delivered newspapers on foot, and the bike would speed up my process. So I bought a nice Trek 10-speed bike.
Nice. He's a saver.
He
saver.
reinvested into himself.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it. All right, coming over to you, Jill. How about you?
I probably saved it to go. I used to love to go to the beach, so that I would save it up and then spend it when I got to Ocean City or one of the beach resorts.
Nice. Okay. Very nice. So leisure, all leisure. I love it. Okay. How about you, Michael?
I used it to buy some brand new goalie equipment for hockey, because I played hockey all the way up through college. And so always needed to have equipment. So parents would get sick and tired of buying it for me. I played the most expensive position. Parents who are parents of goalies in hockey are the most frustrated parents in the world.
I'm sorry, but I gotta put this out here. If you noticed, every last one of them invested in an experience.
Yes.
Right? It was like, I want to play hockey. I want to make sure I have a nice bike. I want to go on a nice vacation. And you see so many people, Mika, from our culture, they invest in just getting something to eat.
Or shoes or clothes.
Yeah, right. I mean, to me, it's like a sign of maturity at a younger age, because as we get older, we want to create better experiences with our families, our friends and stuff like that, right? But for you to already have that in your mindset at a young age, that's impressive. That is very impressive. All right, biggest life lesson. Going over to you, Michael. Biggest life lesson from your first job.
Biggest life lesson, I think, is just to basically to not slack, to give it your all, no matter what, because it keeps you humble. It keeps you it puts you on the right track for good work ethic, is just to take your job seriously, whatever it is you're doing, and to do a good job and give it your all.
Love it. Joe, coming to you.
Accountability. I knew that when I made mistakes like throwing a newspaper through somebody's window, I had to pay. And I knew that every one of my actions had some kind of a consequence associated with it. So learned some good lessons and learned some things that were kind of tough too. So
yeah, but it builds integrity and character. I love it.
Accountability. That's a big one.
That's big. Jill.
I think that that people count on you. So you've got to make sure that you do whatever it is. So even though, like you're the person, you had to show up for my shift to make those ice cream cones, because otherwise the place would, they couldn't run it without somebody, even though it was the lowest form of making those little cones, still you had to do it. And I think that's the same today, that if people are counting on you, you've got to do your part.
I love it. Because it's all a team. Nobody's bigger. There's no I in team, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's an I in win, though. That's what Michael Jordan said. but there's no I in team. All right, coming over to you, Jill. Did you take a sack lunch or did you eat out?
Sack lunch. Every day, the same thing, peanut butter and jelly.
Love it. Joe.
I think
Sorry, did you say Joe?
Joe.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't on the route that long, but I always had a couple extra papers that I would sell, and I'd buy myself a Coke at the neighborhood grocery store I delivered to. So
Nice. Is that the kind with the pop top?
it was back in the day, absolutely.
That's the best kind.
Those are
Man.
the best coats.
Oh my God.
It's
Yes.
different.
Yes. And Joe, that's when you got a full bag of chips.
Yeah.
There's only 80% air.
Right.
All right, Michael, how about you?
I would say, I was going out, but it was all liquids, man, because it's so hot and humid down in St. Louis in the summertime. So it's constant water, Gatorade. That's all it was during the day, cutting grass like that. So
Yep. You got And hey, to me, that's why you say you were in tip top shape. You weren't really eating much.
Right.
All right, coming over to you, Jill. Last three questions. Most embarrassing or funniest moment from your first job or any job that you've had?
I think falling through a chair wins the award in front of 200 people that I was presenting a seminar to. I sat down on it. They hadn't screwed the seat in. I fell through the chair and I was wedged.
No way.
Straight up. And then everyone's looking and laughing at me, but I'm stuck. So I had to flip the chair over, wiggle out, and then I had to present. And I refer to it as the chair incident, as do many people who know me from that previous life.
That's when you definitely get a standing ovation.
Yes.
It was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Oh, wow.
Jill, I think you won the most
embarrassing
moment award.
I know. There's nothing you can say when you're basically in a dress with your feet wedged straight up on stage in front of all men. There's nothing that you can do.
That's one way to keep everybody engaged. I will tell you that. Right. So, same question coming over to you, Michael.
Well, this is kind of funny because I actually had a chair incident too. I was working at a hardware store, and I was in the flooring department, and they have a big desk there where all the specialists are helping people with estimates and everything. And I was sitting back there and trying to help, and we were very busy that day. And when I sat down, the chair just ended up flying backwards, and I was sitting back, and all the customers are looking, and my feet are up dangling. And people were just laughing and everything. And I just was like, well, I just going to laugh at myself. And it was in front of a lot of people that day because it was during the holidays.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You're close. You're a close second.
Right. He's close. So, Joe, what you got?
So one of my first days as a firefighter, I started in January. I remember we responded to a house fire, and I went to jump off the truck. And prior to getting off the truck, I put my SCBA, my breathing apparatus face piece on, which is something you absolutely don't do because you don't go on air till you get to the fire. And as soon as I stepped out of the truck, it completely fogged over. I fell on my face. I couldn't see where I was going, and my lieutenant was not a very happy man. So.
Hey,
now that's when like how you rescuing people and you can't.
Yeah,
You
no,
need to get
that's
rescued.
confidence. It didn't really work out that way. So, yeah.
That's when like with your parents you get in trouble. Just get back in the car.
The help needs help. That is
We
amazing. All
want
right,
to turn it
last.
on you. We want to know your most embarrassing moments. It's not fair that we got
You can go first. Jill said you got to share.
All right, what's my most embarrassing? Yeah, the most embarrassing moment. Well, no, that was the funniest one. That one. Is most embarrassing / funniest. So the funniest one that happened for me was I worked at McDonald's and I had a hat and I'm walking to work because my mom had me walk to work, and a Doberman jumps over the fence, just leaps the whole fence, runs after me. I'm running down and he's chomping at the bit, almost bites my behind. My hat falls off. I get to work. I let the hat go. I get to work. The co-worker lost his hat the previous day. He comes to work wearing my hat. and I said to him, I was like, where'd you get the hat? He said, I don't know. My dog just brought it to me. So I don't know if you stick the dog on me to get the hat. It was the craziest thing. So that was crazy.
I think one of mine. I am from Louisiana. I think I told everyone like earlier before we went live, and so I was in corporate America for many, many years, and I was a knowledge management administrator at the cable company. And so I led a lot of calls and everything in training. And at one place in my presentation, I got comfortable and I said, y'all, in my Southern dialect, of course. And my VP messaged me during the presentation in the chat and was like, did you really just say y'all? Like, oops, didn't realize she was like, your boots are showing, Mika. Your boots.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Right, y'all. Yes.
All right. So last question. I have another, but I'm gonna just for a second time. What song best describes your first job? I'm gonna give that question over to Joe.
Oh wow. Dazed and confused. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know that I'm quick on the feet like that. So hardworking man. There you go.
Hardworking man. All right, Michael.
Oh gosh, I would have to say probably Rocket Man, because I was really fast with getting those logs cut.
That's a good one.
I got who sings that? Is that with the glasses?
Elton John.
Yeah. All right. Nice. All right, Jill, last but not least.
I have no idea. I guess just that 9 to 5 song is the only one that would come to mind.
Yep. That's a classic.
It is.
Yep. Hey, I commend you all for completing the 10-10 challenge. Y'all made it through. Definitely. Good job. I'm still laughing over here. And I'm watching chairs if I go out and speak in front of some people.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you guys are no longer doing ice cream anymore, or cutting grass, or firefighter part. I think but you started out first job. Make sure I'm saying for Joe. Working over at Throwing Papers. So I know you're not doing any of those things anymore. So can you kind of walk us through, and I'll be nice and go ladies first. Can you walk us through kind of what you do now and how you kind of pivoted and how you discovered that this is where you're supposed to be?
Well, right now I'm the head of the Law Enforcement and Justice Administration program here at Western Illinois University, where we teach criminal justice public safety classes. And I got there by way of, I was a paralegal for a very short period of time, and then I went to law school, and then I moved from that to working for legal aid, representing abused and neglected kids, and I couldn't pay my mortgage. So I sold out to the prosecutor's office and became a prosecutor for 21 years. And now after doing that and having so many death threats and things like that, I didn't want to keep my kids in that kind of environment from out east. So I tell people I'm part of the witness protection program hiding out here in Macomb, Illinois.
you started. You are something else. I'll tell you, man.
But my chair incident really was part of, because I had to teach the Baltimore Police Department the legal updates and the procedures and things like that. So that's why I was standing in front of him when I fell through that chair.
That just makes it work. You fell through this chair in a conference.
And then I had to leave the town because of the embarrassment, and that's why.
Lifetime trauma. That's funny.
Right.
Joe, walk us through kind of like how you moved over into what you're doing now, and walk us through a little bit of kind of what you're doing today.
Okay, so I started out as an explorer as a young person, which is basically a scouting program where you look at careers. And I was in the Fire Department Explorer Post in Quincy, Illinois. Met my father-in-law there, and as I was going to college, he encouraged me to take the fire department test because he saw what I did with the exploring program. I was actually working for the Boy Scouts. That was my original goal. But the week I got called for an interview with the Boy Scouts, the fire department happened to call and say, "Hey, we'd like you to come work for us." So I made the decision to stay in town, took the fire department job, worked there for 28 years, served the last 12 years as fire chief, and just recently retired in July and moved over. I've been working part-time as an adjunct for Western Illinois University in the fire program, and had the opportunity to come over here full-time and kind of take the reins of the fire side of things. So that's how I ended up in this position, and I've been full-time since the middle of August.
I'm very impressed that you are retired, because you look like you still got 30 more years of work left in you.
Well, I'm semi-retired. I'm working here now, I guess. So
yeah. But I mean,
you won't be a firefighter. I watched him for 30 years.
Yeah, that is phenomenal.
That is amazing. So I have to pause and make sure everyone caught something, because your most embarrassing moment was when you first started, like jumping out the truck, fogged over shield, and like falling flat on your face, right?
Yep, absolutely.
However, that beginning and your ending was becoming a captain,
right,
is like truly phenomenal, because I'm sure over your career you've been able to use that story of like your first day falling flat on your face to where you are today.
Absolutely.
To be able to encourage other rookies that's coming in to the department to keep going and to work hard. Like, I truly think like that's one of those, soul food stories that you can really just kind of, tell people. So didn't want to miss that. I think that's
a career is just made up of opportunities and, experiences, and every one of those forms us into the person we are today, and the ability to pass that on. And certainly when you see a young firefighter or a student who's maybe struggling a little bit, you can share some of those stories. We've all been there. We've all done that. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and then the key is to persevere and just keep enjoying what you do. Because if you can have a little fun and laugh at yourself, it's going to make life a lot easier, and it's going to make work an enjoyable experience.
Yes, I totally
agree. That's a tweetable. He said a career is opportunities and experiences. That's a tweet right there. That's good. All right. So real quick, before we ask Michael the same question, we have the privilege to serve with Michael when we were in St. Louis at the scholarship fair. And we were sitting, I think, were we right beside each other with our booths?
Yes.
And he has a heart that really wants to help kids, and he wants to make an impact in our community. In St. Louis is where you are, we're in Kansas City, but your heart definitely expounds beyond just St. Louis, I know. So tell us a little bit about like how you got into where you are, from starting out cutting grass, and then walk us through why you're so passionate about youth, because that seems like that's something that really is near and dear to your heart.
Sure. So after I graduated from college, I got the opportunity, and I had my bachelor's degree in communications. And it had some business classes too, in support of all that. I got to work in admissions for my first job with my alma mater. And when I started working there, why not market something that you experienced and that you really had a good time, with, and that was my alma mater. And while I was there, I really enjoyed interacting and helping the next generation of young people to find where they wanted to go to college or what they wanted to do with their lives. Because I had the problems of what was I going to do as well. And I just really enjoyed that facet of helping somebody. You can help anybody, you can help people in any profession. Helping youth figure out what that next step is was kind of what I started to like to do. So I continued on, and then I just decided to go back for my master's and get in higher ed administration because I really enjoyed this part of higher ed and working with the youth. And you know, just the fact that this is our next generation is you know, they're our future, right? And so helping support them, I mean, what an honor that is. And not to mention the fact of working on a college campus or being able to talk about a college campus where you have young people all the time, vibrant people, faculty members who are willing to help you in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it's a great atmosphere to be at or to talk about. Now I'm, you know, after a few other universities, colleges that I worked at, now I'm here at Western Illinois University and representing a great college that has a lot of great programs, especially a very unique and number one program in the Law Enforcement Justice Administration, our number one program, and also to having a unique fire science program as well. You know, when you go to work for any university, you're looking for what their best programs are when you're interviewing for the job and what you want to promote. These people on here with me, they represent really strong programs that if the youth are interested in and looking for something to do for their next career path, we can provide them for that. And that's what's exciting to me in this profession.
I love it. I love it. And so I'll open this question up, and then Mika, you chime in wherever you see fit. The thing that College Coaching Network is about is college and career readiness, right? And we understand that there's a lot of kids that want to go the traditional route, and then there's some students that actually want to look at, hey, I'm ready to jump into my career now. I kind of know what I want to do, or I want to at least have an opportunity to explore all my options instead of just going down the path that people tell me that I have to go down, right? So when it comes to career readiness, can you walk us through like how you guys help people to identify what you have to bring to the table as far as your options? And what if a kid is on the fence? Like, why would they consider looking at some of the career paths that you guys offer? Anybody can take that question.
Okay. Well, I'll say first for me, like I just had a bunch of college fairs, right, in the St. Louis area, and so there were some students that basically came up to my college fair table, and one of the things that I make sure to do is take our traveling view book and I make sure to open it to our areas of study page and put it right there, flat and center, right on the table, so they can at least look at it. Because people come and be like, "I've never really heard of Western Illinois University," or "I've heard of you, but what do you have to study?" Well, they can look and see that right away, and if they're on the fence. You know, it's basically just basically opening up the conversation and talking with them and saying, you know, where do you feel like you're strongest at? What year are you in high school? So you kind of gauge the amount of time that they have. Have they visited any colleges? And, you know, where their interests lie. And if they start to say like in the sciences or, you know, one of those topics, well, then you start to highlight the certain programs that we have that kind of mix with those interests. And then what the greatest or fun part is to see their eyes all of a sudden light up. Be like, I didn't think about that, you know, and that could be a career path to go into. And that's one of the fun things. So for me, that's where I help with on the fence. But then of course, Jill and Joe, they can help too.
No, you're fine. I just had someone walk in the office. Yeah, I wasn't telling you. No, yeah. I love it. I love it. So, and anybody else want to add to that? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to cut you off.
Oh no, that's okay. Sorry.
I can add to that. I think that when I'm talking to the students here to get them engaged, that I don't think they understand that public safety in all aspects, whether it be the law enforcement or juvenile justice or fire administration or even emergency management, we're in the people business. And we are helping people at a time when they need it the most. And again, we're talking about in the emergency management, there's been a tornado or a flood or a disaster or one of the fires out west or whatever, or a shooting situation or the COVID pandemic. We're here to, you know, how do you manage this and keep everybody moving forward positively? When we're talking about some of the other areas about the people they deal with, the juveniles. And again, like I said, my beginning was with abused and neglected kids. And what are we doing with them? We've got a whole society of, particularly now, kids that are in serious need, the free lunch programs and things like that. These kids don't have a whole lot going for them. how do we help them in those kind of programs? And then obviously from the general law enforcement side of the house, I mean, we're here obviously to protect and to serve, but I think serve is probably what we do most. The getting to, I mean, we will make the arrest, but we also do the trainings about how do you act and respond when you get a traffic ticket after you've got your very first, new driver's license. We're the ones that, we are there to respond to any kind of assistance or those kind of things that are out there. So the things that I don't think people realize the amount of help that we do, and again, how much people appreciate it in the end. And I can tell you that probably you didn't ask, but one of the best things about a career in public safety, or in my case, as a prosecutor for 21 years before I retired, is the people who come up to thank you years later. And they would include the defendants. You turned my life around. You held me accountable for something. The victims who said that you just believed in me, or the people you just listened to when there was a problem. So, and I'm not going to talk about the fire program because Joe is the best at that. So go ahead, Joe.
Well, I think a couple of key things we have. For one, everybody you encounter in the LEGA program, whether it's on the law enforcement or the fire side, are all practitioners. We've all been there. We've done it. We have real world experiences. And while we may utilize a textbook in the classroom, a lot of what we teach is from the heart and from previous experience. There's no better way for a young person to learn about a career than to hear from people that have been there and done that. So that would be one thing. Secondly, and I can only speak to fire on this one, but we just started something new. We're actually going to have our first event here in a couple of weeks called we're calling it Experience the Quincy Regional Training Facility, but that's our hands-on location that we use for Western Illinois University. And we're giving young people, we have a couple students that are looking to come to Western next year. They're going to come down and they're going to get a chance to put on firefighting gear and go in and experience a live fire situation for the first time. They're going to cut up a car. They're going to get to rappel off a 4-story building. They're going to just do the really cool things that make firefighting something that I enjoyed for 28 years. And I can tell you that when somebody who thinks they've got the bug gets a chance to do that for the first time, they're hooked. And that's the key. So we provide those experiences to make sure they can really solidify the need to be a part of that program.
I've got a selfish ask, and then I'm coming back over because I already know. You may be getting ready to say what I was.
Go ahead.
All right, I got a selfish ask about that. Is there any way at all you can get GoPro and have that on the head of one of the kids that are going through this? Because if you can record that and maybe use phones and stuff and kind of capture that, we would love to put that in our app and have that under the section for your college. Sure. Where the kids can actually see that, and then we can have a link if you want to have like a way of somebody contacting you to learn more about how they can go through that experience as you guys doing from one year to the next. That would be phenomenal.
Well, I can tell you we have members from the WIU marketing team coming down to be a part of the program and to document it. So we will have photos and maybe interviews and stuff like that. So we can certainly provide some information so we can do that. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yes. I absolutely love this idea, and with Joe and Jill both speaking, and seeing that the working professionals transition into the education. So again, it is mirroring those real world experiences with the textbook, because that's where sometimes you may get that learning gap that you hear these stories where, oh, I went to college, but I'm not using anything in my career that I necessarily learned through the textbook. But I think it is amazing that Western Illinois University has staff. And I'm sure the school is probably pretty intentional about that, just from hearing your stories, that is speaking to working professionals that went down this career path and can show students that light. And Joe, to get a student that may have that itch in firefighting to go out and do that, I could only imagine the excitement that would create. Like, if that would be something that you could maybe travel or do events, in different places to get students to get the intention to come out, or maybe partner with other fire groups. We would love to push and support that, because that's not something that you hear about. At least I've never heard it. that is like that real world hands-on learning experience for students, because sometimes that's what it takes
Well,
for someone to know what they want to do with their lives. It's just like Michael with going down this path because, you know, he started in college and he fell in love with it and, you know, added to his education of it. So I think that what you guys are doing is truly, truly amazing. And Claude, I think you had some.
No, Michael. I mean, Joe was getting ready to say something. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, not only do we have that you know, 1-day experience, but with our new programs that we're rolling out now, our fire medic program, our freshmen have the opportunity in the spring of their freshman year to be part of a 6-week residential experiential fire academy. And they literally go to the training facility, spend 6 weeks there, get up and do PT in the morning, classroom sessions. They firefight during the day. They eat together. They're lodged together, and they have a true firefighter academy experience. And there aren't many schools across this country that give kids that are in the educational realm the chance to have that experience. And more importantly, when they complete that academy, assuming they've been good students and good practitioners of the work, they actually receive what's called a pro board certification, which means upon graduation, they have the ability, and they're marketable because they have been certified as a basic operations firefighter. And with the paramedic part we're adding this coming fall, they'll be able to graduate not only as firefighters but as paramedics. And those are the two most sought after certifications fire departments look for when they're looking to hire. And to your point you mentioned earlier, you know, you can't even be a firefighter, at least in the state of Illinois, until you're 21 years old. So there's that gap of time from graduation of high school until you can get that career. What better way to spend it than to learn your trade and learn your craft and get the certification so you can hit the ground running when you actually get onto a fire department. So I'm really glad to say that we've got a pretty awesome program, and we provide great lifelong experiences that are going to give these kids a chance to truly be competitive, because firefighting is a highly competitive field.
I love it. I love it. So my last questions is, are you guys a public or a private school?
We're a public education program. And what Joe said about fire, we do the exact same things with the law enforcement and justice side. We have a fully operational crime lab. So we do all of the CSI activities. So if anybody who likes those shows can do it. One of the most popular is the behavioral analyst aspect, the detecting deception. We have the polygraph machine, and we hook people up to it, and they enjoy that. And we like to, you know, watch them lie, and they think they're so good. And of course, the machine catches them. And so, but we also do all the fingerprinting and all of the other. We have a blood spatter room, and we're having, just like we're having the fire experience day, we're having an emergency management open house day next week, where they're going to get to experience how to do search and rescue, including the ones that are unsuccessful. They're going to see how to put people in body bags. They're going to get to tour all of the facilities. We have a fully operational emergency operations center on campus where they get to see the visual walls like they have on all the television shows, and to see how we fly the drones and we use the GIS mapping, and they get to do that as well. So we've got these events, and we do a CSI camp for people because, like you said, there's no better way to learn something than by doing it. And by doing it, the books are great. They give great theories, but just like everything else, theory doesn't work with every single person, every single situation. So you got to have a whole lot of tools in your tool belt. And the more practice you get, the better you are. It's sort of like parenting. Kids aren't the same no matter what. So, but I mean, Joe's program, I mean, it's awesome what they're doing over there. I mean, they'd be petrified to be doing what those kids love to do. And he's right. Once they've done it, they're hooked.
Yeah, we're probably one of the only programs here that has groupies, you know. So
That's good.
Hilarious.
I like that.
Absolutely love it because, Jill, look, I'm guilty. If I was not into entrepreneurship, I'm totally that one that's hooked to all the CSIs. Look, 911, Joe, like those are like my shows that I watch constantly.
You can join in. We've had at our camp last summer, it was a virtual one because of COVID, and we had people in their 60s that they too said, I don't care, I want to be able to do this. And they made me mail them the fingerprint stuff and all kinds of stuff so they could actually do it themselves. So it was, you know, between basically high school all the way up to the 60s, we're in that. So don't think you can't do it. You don't have to switch careers completely, but It is fun.
That is cool. I
We're
love
gonna
it.
have to talk to you again because I wonder if there's a way we can put together like a summer kind of camp
Yes.
and have it where we do just an awareness about that because the kids are bored anyway. They need to do something fun, and CSI is all about them. So we'll be talking. We have everybody's contact information, right?
Yep.
All right,
Yes.
all right. Michael, you take us on. What do you got for us that takeaways that the kids, as far as like how to get in contact with you, links, any of those things for them to reach out to you guys?
Yeah, I mean the best place to start is, of course, just making sure you go to our website at wiu.edu. When you go there, you can apply. Actually, when you see right there, the top right-hand corner, if you're a senior in high school, especially right now in the month of October, you can apply for free. There's no charge. And every year in the fall, we will always let students know that there will be a month or a few weeks where you'll be able to apply for free. If you go to our admissions page, you can do a virtual tour. You can also do tours of the residence halls and all of that. But it also really, I think, an important thing to remember is that an important part of choosing any college is visiting the campus and also being a chance to visit with my two colleagues here if they have the opportunity to schedule that, because you get to learn a lot in that visit, not just about the campus, but also about our academic programs during that visit, and just seeing everything and seeing if this is going to be your home away from home and if you're going to see yourself here. I'm the actual contact for any student out of the state of Illinois. I'm based in St. Louis, Missouri, recruiting, but I also handle any questions from any students out of state. My email address is mj- and my last name Gruzeski, that's GRUZESKI at wiu.edu. And feel free just to send me an email, or you can also look me up in the directory. Go to the admissions page, click on Meet Your Counselor, and if you put in out of state, you will find me there as well too on the admissions page. It all starts there with just looking at our webpage, taking some virtual tours, but also getting to campus too. Coming to one of our open houses. We have an open house coming up on October 23rd on the Macomb campus. We also have another one coming up on December 4th. Jill and Joe talked about some of the programs they have going on too, just with their departments. And also too, we have a second campus in the Quad Cities area. They have some open houses that are coming up too. So that campus has about half of the majors that we offer. All of the majors are offered on the Macomb campus, but about half the majors are offered there. It's just a matter of all starting with coming to our webpage, checking us out, and getting the information, and then also contacting me. And if you're interested in these programs that Joe and Jill were talking about too, I can put you in contact with them, or just you can look them up too on the website as well. But either way, we're here to help in any way, shape, or form. Any student, whether they're a high school student, transfer student, anybody looking for education and a career path. That's what we're here to do. And as Jill said, I believe she said, we're here to help people, and we're here in the people business. So that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, we commend you for all that you guys are doing for the students. I cannot wait to continue the conversation about what Joe is doing, definitely what Jill is doing, and then just making sure that we can get you in the app so you can actually start talking directly with our students that are out there. I think that some of the people that will see this video may want to have an engaging conversation. So we need to talk about next steps. So we'll probably reach out to you sometime early next week to start working on getting some of the information we need from you to get your community built within the app, so people can reach out to you. Is that fair enough?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, sounds great to me. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Mika, you got any parting words?
No, that's it. So I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and take the 10-10 challenge to teach us about swirling those ice cream cones, mowing the perfect lawn, and missing those windows with the newspapers. So again, thank you guys for your time, for your dedication, for your commitment to helping youth succeed in life. Because again, Joe and Jill, you've done the work, and now you're getting to teach others about the work that you did to prepare the next generation. And Michael, you're bringing that next generation in and having a passion to help them design the way that their life is going to go is such a critical part in our society. So I want to thank you guys again for taking time out of your busy schedules to come out on our podcast and take the 10-10 challenge and tell our students about Western Illinois University. We definitely will be in contact because we want to get some students to be able to take advantage of these amazing opportunities that you have available. So guys, thank you for tuning in to another College Coaching Network Social Spotlight Live. They survived the 10-10 challenge, guys. So happy hump day.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure.